Hello everybody, welcome back. When the Alpha 3.0 update was announced for the very first time, it had a completely different feature set than the one we know right now. And the truth is that the closer we're getting to this year's Gamescom event, the better our understanding is about the features that will make it or not into this very important milestone for Star Citizen. So today we are going to take a good look at the features that will make it or not into the Alpha 3.0 update based on the latest info we have from the developers themselves, but the production schedule report as well. Without any doubt, the highlight of this very important milestone, this very important update for Star Citizen is going to be the introduction of the planetary tech of Star Citizen for the first time and the very first planetary locations, the very first celestial objects that will be added to the persistent universe. The creation of procedurally generated planets is not something that's happening for the first time in the industry, but the way CIG is developing these planets and the fact that they are going to be heavily artist driven is exactly what makes them stand out and to be unique. The procedurally generated planets of Star Citizen are not based solely on algorithms. The developers do make use of procedural techniques, but they also intervene a lot in order to add handcrafted locations and make the worlds of Star Citizen unique and very realistic. This process, combined with the unique nature of Star Citizen as a first-person shooter, is creating a one-of-a-kind experience. At first, we had heard that the Alpha 3.0 update would add the entire standard system with all of its planets and moons into the persistent universe, but we do know right now that this is not the case. The Alpha 3.0 update is going to add in reality 4 moons to the persistent universe, 3 of which are the moons around the gas giant of Crusader, Selene, Delamar, and Yela, and the 4th one does not belong to the standard system, it comes from the Nyx system, it's the moon-size asteroid of Delamar, and will be added for variety and testing purposes. Despite only having 4 moons in the persistent universe with the Alpha 3.0 update, it is still a huge step forward for Star Citizen and for the completion eventually of the standard system. These moons will have their own unique atmosphere and looks, and specific characteristics like different gravity, ecosystems, and unique conditions. As we have heard recently from the developers and the production schedule report, the plan is to also make these moons to have their own rotation and orbits. This is going to be added to the game with the Alpha 3.0 update and will give us the opportunity to experience a proper day-night cycle when we will be on a planet's or moon's surface, which in turn will definitely open up further gameplay possibilities and make the persistent universe a lot more realistic. Now, to be more precise about these 4 moons and their unique conditions, we can say that Yela is going to be a frozen moon with volcanoes erupting unexpectedly around the surface. Selene is going to be the complete opposite of Yela. It will be burning with volcanic activity, and on the surface we can find thermal geysers that again can erupt without notice. There are also going to be high corrosive clouds of gas. Delamar, on the other hand, is a harmonic blend of Yela and Selene with a mountainous surface and lightning storms. So we can see that with the introduction of these 3 moons around Crusader, we are also getting the very first elements of survival gameplay. It will be impossible to survive on the surface of each one of these 3 moons without the appropriate suit that will keep us alive. And it is not only that regarding survival gameplay. With the Alpha 3.0 update, we are also getting stamina and oxygen systems, which means that we will have to be very careful when we are traversing one of these moons and try to not run out of oxygen, because we will die obviously, but also try to manage our stamina properly in case of a combat scenario. It will be essential to understand how stamina and oxygen works, these systems work, and get the best out of them. Delamar, on the other hand, is a guest planetoid that will be added to the standard system from the Nyx system, and it brings along its landing zone of Levski. Levski is going to provide us with an extra landing zone main hub where we can accept missions but also perform activities like trading. From what we have seen so far and from what we know, Levski is coming along very well, and it will be the only place in the persistent universe from where we can spawn a ground vehicle and go out there driving, performing ground exploration. To achieve this, Levski will not only have hangars for spaceships, but also garages for our ground vehicles. Like I have mentioned already, this is just going to be the very first step of the planetary tech of Star Citizen, its debut to the persistent universe. And although we now, with the Alpha 3.0 update, we will only get 4 moons, 3 that belong to the standard system and 1 as a guest planetoid, with future update we are going to get the first planets of Star Citizen, and we will eventually have the entire standard system to explore and enjoy all the opportunities it will offer to us. The first planet of Star Citizen, which is Arcop, is planned for the 3.1 update, and the standard system will be complete with the 3.2 update and the addition of the 2 remaining planets, Hearthstone and Microtech. Just adding 4 empty moons in the persistent universe will not make any difference, and this is exactly why their surface is going to be full with points of interest, outposts and derelict sites waiting for us to discover and explore them, giving us purpose on our trips around the surface of these 4 moons. And it's not only the surface of the moons, the space around them is also going to be full with points of interest, and not only derelict sites, but also asteroid belts and debris fields. The derelict sites, the derelict ships on the surface of these moons and later planets of Star Citizen will have their own unique looks and story to tell. As for the outposts, they will have a different functionality, and some will even be able to work as shelters for crashed pilots waiting for someone else to come and pick them up. Recently, the developers have started adding a lot more points of interest on the surface of these 4 moons, and this is because they felt that the surfaces were underpopulated. This is definitely something good for us because it will provide us with many more points of interest to explore and take advantage of. The derelict sites and outposts on the surfaces of the 4 moons and later planets of Star Citizen are going to be uninhabited at first, but this is going to change with future updates, and NPC or other players will probably start creating communities that might be hostile or willing to trade with you and make the worlds of Star Citizen to feel and look a lot more alive. And since we are talking about points of interest on the surface of the 4 moons and later planets, we should also mention the addition of racetracks on the planets, on the moons, racetracks that will give to players the opportunity to have some fun using their ground vehicles. And the introduction of the ground vehicles is also something that we are going to see for the first time. Typically, every new Star Citizen update is adding new vessels, new spaceships for us to fly around and have fun. With the Alpha 3.0 update, we are also getting the very first ground vehicles of Star Citizen, the Nox, the Dragonfly, and the Ursa rover that will allow us to perform planetary exploration successfully and a lot more efficiently. The Alpha 3.0 update is also very important, not because it will add the first celestial objects, celestial bodies in the persistent universe, but also because it will add the first profession of Star Citizen. With this update, we are going to be able to perform trading, piracy, and smuggling. With 3 main hubs, Levski, Port Olisar, and Grim Hex, it will be possible to start trading commodities, goods and commodities, but also accept hauling contracts and try to make money like this. The implementation of the kiosk system will make it easier to buy and sell commodities and having them loaded up to our vessel with the new cargo grid system. The kiosk system is going to expand later to other activities as well, and we will even be able to restock and refuel our vessels. Regarding the cargo grid system, at first, with this new update, there will only be 1 small crate type, but later more will follow. Smuggling is also going to be a very important addition regarding the professions of Star Citizen, and with the introduction of the custom point system that we can see in Levski, but hopefully on the other 2 main hubs as well, it will be possible to try and become a successful smuggler, try to smuggle items inside these ports, inside these main hubs, and make a small fortune in the process. Now, we do have to mention mining. Mining at some point was announced for the 3.0 update, and it was described as ready to be implemented with this important milestone. And this is exactly why, with the Alpha 3.0 update, we're also getting the Prospector, the first mining vessel of Star Citizen. But apparently it is not ready, it creates problems because of its complexity and how important it is going to be for the economy of Star Citizen. It creates certain bugs, and for this it has been removed from the Alpha 3.0 release, and it is expected to be added later with the 3.1 or 3.2 update. These are the latest info we have about mining, the mining activity, but there is always the chance for CAG to surprise us and maybe add it with the Alpha 3.0 update. We will have to wait and see. Definitely, mining will make the Star Citizen economy and the Star Citizen universe feel a lot more complete. With the new update, we're also going to get a plethora of new missions that will give us many more opportunities to enjoy the Star Citizen universe. There are going to be different objectives like investigating a derelict site and retrieving a black box or package like we have mentioned already, or even hacking an array. With this new update, there are going to be added 2 dedicated mission givers in the game, Miles Eckhart and Ruto, but also the introduction of the reputation system that will make interaction with NPC and factions, the different factions that will slowly start appearing in the game, starting with Levski, meaningful. The better our reputation with a faction or NPC, the better the missions we can accept from them and obviously the rewards. Persistence in-game will also have to expand in order to give us a much more realistic feeling of the Star Citizen universe. Right now, persistence is limited to our balance and to the ships that we own, but with the Alpha 3.0 update is going to expand and affect our everyday life. So for example, leaving our spaceship somewhere, it means that that specific spaceship will remain there, and when we log back into the game, we will find it there waiting unless someone else has stolen it. With the expansion of persistence, we are also going to get a distinction between legal and physical ownership. So for example, if you own a vessel, you have the legal and the physical ownership. But if another player comes and steals your vessel, he will have the physical ownership while you will retain the legal ownership. And this has obviously an impact to the criminality system and to the life of the citizens in the Star Citizen universe. With the new update, it will be possible to lose your vessels, to have them stolen, and this is also exactly why we are getting the first step of the insurance system. With insurance, you will be able to buy back your vessel by paying a certain amount of money. To prevent players from stealing your vessels, basic ship security is coming with the Alpha 3.0 update. Finally, we are going to have a locks in ship, but we're also getting the ability to counter these locks if you want to be a pirate. With the use of explosives, it will be possible to destroy external doors to vessels and steal them. This will also give the opportunity to pirates to perform some basic breaching and boarding. Tools like the Item 2.0 system will make interactions with everything easier and a lot more interesting. It will be possible to interact and control everything, every little aspect of our vessel, for example, through the Item 2.0 system, making gameplay a lot more immersive. But also other systems like the improved mobiglas with its many apps will help us survive and be successful in the verse. Thanks to the render-to-texture system, since the mobiglas is a holographic projection, we will be able to use this amazing tool, this improved tool with the Alpha 3.0 update, and all of its useful applications in order to explore the verse, explore the persistent universe, and have fun. Some of the applications that we know will come with the new update for the mobiglas are the star map, which is not only an application to help us jump from one place to another, but also can work as a radar if we zoom in. The contracts manager that will keep track of all the available missions in the game, which we have accepted, which we have completed, and later will give us the possibility to create our own missions and offer them to other players. and the inventory manager that will allow us to manage our inventory successfully and efficiently, but also transfer stuff from one cargo container to another or one ship to another. These are the main and more important features that will come with the Alpha 3.0 update, and obviously the developers are working on performance and stability issues, and they are trying to make this update, this upcoming milestone, a much better experience for all of us. As you will have noticed by now, a lot have changed since the first time the Alpha 3.0 update was announced, and despite the fact that we're not getting the full standard system, it is still a huge step forward for Star Citizen that will definitely transform this game and get us closer to the universe that we have imagined and cannot wait to experience. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove, and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.